Good morning, everyone. Pledge, please. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Minutes and claims from the auditor's office. Is that you, Sharon?
I guess so. So I have your minutes from the October 8th meeting, which was your regular board meeting for your approval.
Any questions or comments about the minutes? If not, would entertain a motion to approve.
Motion to approve minutes from October 8th, 2024.
All in favor, by aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Do we have another set of minutes as well? Okay.
You have the minutes from the October 8th rezoning meeting that you had for your approval.
Quite the lengthy meeting. Any questions or comments about those minutes?
We approve the minutes from the rezoning meeting.
Second.
All in favor, by aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
You have your claim docket from October 5th, 2024 to October 11th, 2024 in the amount of $1,060,185.40 for your approval.
Any questions or comments? You still there? About those?
Motion to approve claim docket $1,060,185.40 from October 5th through October 11th.
Second. Any questions or comments? All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed?
One last one, your payroll docket of October 10th, 2024 in the amount of $1,348,125.26 for your approval.
Any questions or comments about these claims?
Motion to approve payroll claim docket.
Second. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carried. Well, that concludes all the business for this Tuesday. Any comments from the public today?
I'll come talk to y'all.
Sure.
Do I have to, can I talk from here?
Well, come to the podium now, a little bit closer to that microphone, please. Thank you.
Okay. So I'm Shannon Giles. I work with Tobacco Free Vigo. I came by and saw you guys in the spring to talk about the fact that we had done, we're in the middle of doing our point of sale campaign. So point of sale is a survey that we do every 2 years where we look at tobacco retailers around Vigo County. This year we did 106 retailers. That is far from the total number of tobacco retailers in Vigo County, just because you can't get to all the Marathon stores. But we did do 106. I'm going to tease you out a little bit of the information that we've gotten back so far because we are still calculating some of the other numbers. And I'm going to do a full presentation at our Circles of Change conference, which is going to be late February or early March. I don't know exactly yet. But let me start with why does point of sale matter? When you go into stores, convenience stores, tobacco, well, you can't go into tobacco retailers if you're under 21, but convenience stores, gas stations, places like that that sell tobacco products, it encourages the youth to start using tobacco. We found in so many occasions that the vapes were listed next to the Pokemon cards, stashed next to the Pokemon cards, or right above the ice cream, or, you know, below 3 feet, which is a legally gray area about being able to be located there because the youth see that, they make those connections. It makes quitting more difficult. If you have a commute in from the east side and you go down Wabash Avenue and every, third or fourth station has those wavy signs that say vape here, cigarettes at minimums and all of those things, it's really hard to keep your self-control and be able to continue to resist when you're being bombarded with those images. And then it disproportionately targets some communities. And we've got some information about that. But that's the keys. That's why point of sale marketing is so expensive. It is so prominent with tobacco. They advertise about $1 million a minute, and that includes point of sale. I was just at a Circle K the other day. They had a really big vape display right there on the counter at the cash register. And I was talking to the cashier and she said, yeah, that the company that makes these gives $100 a month to the manager, as long as she puts it right there. And it's her, found money in her pocket. Doesn't go through the company, doesn't have anything to do with Circle K. It's them actually paying to have their product listed there. So what have we found? So in Vigo County, what we found was that there were 33 additional tobacco retail licenses issued in the last 2 years. I challenge you to think of any other business sector. Did we add 33 new shoe stores? Did we add 33 new clothing stores? Did we add 33 new anything as much as we did with tobacco retailers? The other issue that we look at is how close are they to schools? We had a 5% increase of tobacco retailers within 1,000 feet of a school. Now, we don't look at within proximity to childcare centers, but I can almost guarantee it's just the same. And we had a 7% increase in percentage of tobacco retailers within 500 feet of another tobacco retailer. And I think anybody who's driven down Wabash Avenue can attest that that's absolutely a fact. And do you need two tobacco retailers within 500 feet of each other? I mean, I like the healthy competition and all, but no, you really don't. So we also look at density. So how dense is our tobacco retailer environment in Vigo County? 2 years ago, it was 1 tobacco retailer for every 1,000 population. It's up to 1.2%. We also found that 48% of those tobacco retailers are within 500 feet of another tobacco retailer. So half of them are all within 500 feet of each other. So in Vigo County, 16% of tobacco retailers are located within 1,000 feet of a school. And if you don't think it matters, I just did a week at Terre Haute North at the end of September teaching about vaping. And I asked them, I said, can you get to a tobacco retailer by walking or within your school day? Every one of them. Yeah, sure. No problem. Easy to do. I can tell you who sells to underage kids. So yeah, it's an issue. I just got 29 vapes that were confiscated from Terre Haute South since the beginning of the year. I got 21 from Terre Haute North that were confiscated in the first 3 weeks of the school year. So if you look at all the stories about the vape epidemic going down, not necessarily. So what we also looked at was the alcohol and fresh food availability, because one of the things that some of these tobacco retailers provide is a place for people to come shop in what is otherwise a food desert. The north side is a prime example. The area between Wabash and the Kroger on the north side, there is nothing. So you go to a Dollar General, you go to a grocery store, and is there fresh food? That's the stuff that we're still crunching the numbers on, but we will be able to provide that to let you know, what is the availability of fresh food in places where it might be a distance from a regular grocery store. So all that's to say, while it seems like job security for me, it's not necessarily good news for Vigo County. So we are going to be putting together some plans. We're going to be looking at some zoning ordinances that we can put in place to crack down on some of those locations. We can't grandfather in, we have to grandfather in the businesses that are already here, but we can definitely look to the future. Adding daycare, maybe even also looking at the marketing to try and crack down on some of the marketing that's happening as well. So any questions?
When will you be done with that?
I might have it by the end of the year. We will definitely be presenting it at the Circles of Change conference at the end of February.
Okay.
So.
Why do you wind up with the confiscated vape?
So I am doing a vape recycling program right now. Well, in the past, all the schools have been putting their vapes in the trash, which makes them, one, accessible to the students to come get them back. Dumpster diving is, when a vape's that expensive, dumpster diving is not out of the realm of possibility. And two, they have combustible lithium-ion batteries, which can explode. Last year in Michigan, there was a vape manufacturing facility that exploded because of the lithium ion batteries. And two, the nicotine salts that are in the vapes, some of those larger vapes that have 200, 300, 400 cigarettes worth of nicotine, they don't get emptied out. And when they get into the landfills and they get crushed and they break, those nicotine salts can leak into the water system. So I am confiscating them right now from the school. I am taking the confiscated vapes right now from the schools and setting up a recycling program so that they don't go into the landfill.
Any questions?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Sir, you had raised your hand.
Good morning. My name is Kevin Ball, Director of Club Soda here in Terre Haute. And a couple things I wanted to talk about. First of all is, we're a sober living. We house up to 104 recovering alcoholics and addicts. We've got men and women, and we do have a few children living there right now. But I'm here to ask what's the procedure and how would I go about addressing you guys for some kind of an assistance to get, we got hit with the lead abatement, which is our cheapest bid, was $26,000. And then we got hit with the fire upgrade, which is right at $7,000. And, we're not for profit. We don't have those kind of funds. We live off of residential rents, in which, we take, homeless people in that have nothing, get them the IDs, Social Security cards, birth certificate, get them to work. By then, they're about 3 weeks into us. That's about $450. And then once they get a job and get a big paycheck, they just run off. But then also we get people from the county jail, probation, corrections, and, we house them, we feed them, we find them employment, take them to work. We're just asking for some kind of assistance so we can exist. I've reached out to, the probation department and everything, and Mr. Watson corrections about, if I need to, whatever, to have some kind of a backing saying that, we are viable to the county area. And so that's the first thing I was asking about. And the second thing was, I've been about 3 years ago, we used to get $200 per person that we got out of the county, which would help them get started. And they just took over, and that just abruptly stopped. I was just wondering about that.
I don't know anything about that.
It was, we sent an invoice to the Boggs County Sheriff's Department, and then they would cut us a check once a month.
And that was in the sheriff's department budget, that the sheriff's department did that. So that's
Yeah.
something, could be discussed with them again.
You'd have to talk to Sheriff Fell about that one. I don't know anything about that one, but we'd be happy to meet with you. Probably work with Tammy to set up a meeting. Do you receive any state or federal funding now?
None at all.
So all of your funding is just strictly from the,
Residential rent, which is $150 a week. In a perfect world, it'd be great. We'd have the money. But as you know, we're dealing with alcoholics, addicts, and, people coming off the street, nothing. And it's not perfect. A lot of them, well, just last Friday, I had a little over $1,700 walk out the door, which would have been great. I paid quite a few bills.
How many folks do you have there at one time? I mean, like right now, how many residents?
Right now, we got 80, I'd say 80 residents. I can house up to 104 because we got the Sacred Heart building, and I can house up to 60 men. The women's building, the Knights of Columbus building, we can house 35 women. And then we have 12 transitional apartments. We got a duplex on Florida. And then we got this block over here behind the Goodwill where the old Club Soda set, from 601 to 619.
How long do these folks stay usually?
So a minimum stay of 90 days, but they have to graduate an IOP, which they have a choice from Hamilton Center, Choices Consulting, Valley Professionals. And then they can stay as long as they want. I got a resident that's been there for 8 years. So then at the apartments, they're pretty much full all the time because they want to stay in recovery. They're still under the same guidelines, they get screened and everything, and they're safe.
Which one of your facilities had to have lead abatement?
1330 Sacred Heart.
that's the one on Lafayette.
Yes, sir.
I will say this much too, that club soda is much needed for the community. We at the prosecutor's office have tried over the years to help them when we can, but we have a very limited budget unfortunately, but they are very needed.
Yes, sir, you have helped us. You helped us on vehicles actually, and, we had a little thing reaching out on the news. We had, Mr. Burt's from Hamilton Center donated $5,000 out of his pocket to us, and then we had a few people that repaired our vehicles at Fabric right there in Ultran. They helped us out. So we got our vehicles up and going again. Transportation is a big thing. That's too. And I'm a recovering alcoholic myself. Matter of fact, I got 15 years today. And when I came into recovery, too, the biggest obstacles was employment, transportation. 90% of people coming in have no driver's license or anything. So we transport, help them find employment and, back and forth to work, appointments, counseling. So.
Yeah.
You could probably look into using some of their opioid settlement for that.
That's what I was thinking too.
Yeah, because like our budget, I mean, we might have $2,000-3,000 or something available. We don't have a lot for the whole year even available. So there's not a lot we can do, but whatever we can, we will help too. Prosecutor's office. And I mean, starting in January 1, we'll start over again. I think we have like a line item, maybe 10 grand for the whole year for any and all recovery groups. So that's kind of what we're dealing with.
Well, I know Lisa has your information out front, so we'll get with you either later today or tomorrow morning. Try to-
Okay, and another thing is, what money we do get, whatever, a lot of this is probably going right back to the county for sewage bills and everything, cause, in my opinion, they're kind of ridiculous, but we gotta pay them.
Let's talk to the city about that one.
Yeah, I've done trying, but they've been really good. They've moved some of them over to our taxes, which we don't have taxes, and we're able to pay on them a little at a time, so. All right, thank you for your time, greatly appreciate it.
Thanks.
I'm gonna be working with Kevin too on a couple of grants. Rethink Indiana does a grant and Director Vigo does a grant. So we're gonna work with him on a couple of grants that are gonna come up available towards the end of the year.
Right, great. Thank you.
Thank you all. Good.
Thanks.
Appreciate it.
Hey, Kevin.
Anybody else public comment? Nobody? Okay. Any comments from the commissioners or other elected officials or department heads? Kevin? Jimmy? Nothing? Want to talk about Dollar General?
You want to talk about that?
No. Anything from the commissioners?
Larry, striping on Canal, the road looks good.
Should be in town this week, so I got a call on the milestone this morning, so see when they should be here.
Anything? All right, I'll see you in recess until next Tuesday. Thank you.